everyone. Welcome to Winged Paper Crafting. My name is Angel Fitch. If you're new around here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. I'm so glad you've stopped by my YouTube channel. Today is Friday, so we're going to do Fun Fold Friday today. So here's the card, or an example of a card that we're going to make. I'm not overly sure what this is really called, but I'm calling it a double-decker pop-up card. It's almost like it's got two floors to it. It's very cute, very easy. It's not a hard one to do, so let's go ahead and jump into this. So we're going to do, I kind of like this. I'm kind of going for a fall theme because, you know, we've hit fall now. I know this was like this was some kind of a bloom. I forget what this was called. Oh my gosh, it just went blank. But anyway, I kind of thought in this paper pack, even though this was more of a paper pack that was for summer, these colors kind of lent themselves to fall. And I thought you could definitely, you know, use this paper pack to do a fall theme, but we're really going to do a fall theme now. So I'm going to start with a card base that is crumb cake. And this is 4 1/4 by 11. And it is scored at 2 1/2, 3 3/4, 6 3/4, and 8 1/4. So there's lots of scoring going on here. So let's go ahead and get our bone folder out, and we will go ahead and get our score lines here put together. So we start from this end. So this one we are going to score. Let's see if I can tell from my example which way we're scoring this one. We are scoring this one this way. So we're going to do this. We're going to fold this one up, give that a good burnish. And then the next one we're going to fold this way. So our first fold is a valley fold. Our second one is a mountain fold. So we'll give that a good burnish. And then the next one again is a valley. And then another mountain. Okay, so there we went. You can see how this is going to open up like this. So we went valley, mountain, valley, mountain. Okay, so this down here, we've got a piece of vanilla, okay, that I'm going to use down here because I thought this lent itself more to a fall color, although we are going to use a piece of white here in a second. So this is where our sentiment would go if you were going to put a sentiment maybe in here, or I'm just going to leave mine basically blank for a place to sign our card. But I am going to put just a tad bit like we did on this one. We did a little decorating here. We're going to do a little decoration on this one as well. So I'm going to use some real red ink, and we're going to be using this More Than Autumn. And this is a stamp and die set that was from last fall. Very cute. Last I checked is on the last chance list, so it's pretty cheap if this is something you kind of think you're liking and might want to pick up. You might want to go and see if it's still available. But we are going to use this, and I'm going to just stamp. There's a little stamp in here that is an apple, and here it is. I'm going to stamp some apples down here on the bottom of our card. Okay, so here's our little stamp. I'm going to take a little block, put this on here. I haven't used this apple yet, so I'm going to go ahead and season this stamp. So just make sure, kind of rub it on something, your hand, your clothes, something just to get the film off of it. If there's any film left on it from the production process, it'll give you a crisper stamp. So I am going to just do a practice stamp here on just a scratch piece of paper just to see if we're getting, oh yeah, nice clear stamp. Okay, so we're going to take this, and down here in this corner, I'm just going to stamp, that didn't work. All right, let's try that again. See if I can line that up. If I can't, you know what? We're going to turn it over. I'm going to start again. Hang on. All right. Now, you got to make sure you give it like pressure. There we go. So there's one. We'll just do a couple, little bunch of apples down here in the corner. Oops. I keep not getting the pressure on the top of it. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so there's our little bunch of apples. So that's going to be our inside. I'm going to go ahead and close that ink pad up. So this is going to go right here at the bottom. So we're going to go ahead and find our tape runner, which would be somewhere in my disastrous craft room here. Okay, not funny. Where did it go? All right, who knows? Oh, there it is, hiding. I knew it was somewhere. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and get this one down here. So I'm just gonna center this best that I can. Left to right and top to bottom. Let's scoot this over just a little bit there. Hang on, let's move it over just a titch here. Oh, okay, that's crooked. Let's try that again. My goodness. It's going to be one of those days. All right, there we go. That looks better. Okay, so there's our first layer. And it's still crooked. Oh my goodness. I am just having a time of it. There we go. That looks a little straighter. Okay, I'm happy with that. All right, now the next thing we're going to do is I've got two pieces here of old olive that are 4x4, and these are going to be our next two layers. And we are going to put pattern paper on these. So I've got two pieces of kind of fall pattern paper here. One of these came from the what was this called? The Timeless Plaid. So this was one of the Timeless Plaids. We're going to put that on here. This one came from a 6x6 paper pad that was around last year called Iconic Celebrations. And this one has like fall leaves on it. So I thought that would be cute. So we're going to go ahead and put these down. These are our next layers. So we're going to put these on here. Let's see. I think we'll do the leaves this way. Let's see if I'm any better at getting this on here straight than I was the first layer, huh? Okay. There we go. Okay. A little low to the bottom. Let's see. There's not much of a border, so it's kind of a very, maybe 1/8 of an inch. I guess it would be 1/4 of an inch, right? Or no, yeah, 1/4 of an inch. Is our pattern paper. Our old olive is 4x4, and our pattern paper is, actually I think it's only 1/8 of an inch, so it's like 3 7/8 by 3 7/8, because we don't have much of a border. Let's try this one. Okay, so there's no direction on this one, so we can just put it down. Get it right. It's centered. Pretty good. All right, that looks pretty good. Okay, now the next layer I'm going to put down is going to be this leaf pattern. And this is going to go on our second layer here. So basically just like this. So what you need to do when you go to put this down is two things. First being, you want to make sure that when you put your adhesive down that you don't go past where your card base is, because if you go too far, like if we go down here, we're going to end up closing our card shut. So we don't want to do that. Second thing we have to worry about is we need to make sure that this covers up our bottom layer of vanilla. So when we go to put that on there, we need to make sure that we are checking to make sure that this down here is covered up, because we don't want to see it. So I'm going to just kind of take my thumb here and flip this over, and know that I can't put adhesive down here. So we need to keep it further up here to the top. And when we go to put this down, I'm going to turn it sideways here so I have a little bit more control. So I'm going to stick it right there and make sure, I'm going to move it up just a little. So you want it close enough to the score line that it's not hanging off the bottom of your card. Excuse me, but not far enough up that it impedes your card from closing. So it looks like we have got this. We're covering up our vanilla piece here. So it looks like we are in good shape. So I'm going to go ahead and put that down. Okay, so there's our second layer. Now, we're going to put this one on the same way. It's going to go right here. And we're going to go right there. So let's see. We've got, we'll get some glue on this one. So I'm going to just, again, pay attention to where I'm putting this adhesive. Make sure we don't get it too far south. So we're going to go ahead and layer this one up now, close to the top. Now this one you can kind of center, you know, not left to right, obviously, not too far up to the top. We want to leave a little border up there. Okay, so there's the basis, the basics of our card. Now, our next thing we're going to do is we're going to decorate the front. So, I've got a circle that I cut from the Spotlight on Nature dies, and we are going to use this to build our front. So, I'm just going to go ahead, actually take this and glue this down. I'm going to put these layers flat, and the reason I'm doing that is this is kind of a bulky card as it is, because we've got so many layers of card base, and I don't want it to be too bulky to go through the mail if you actually wanted to mail it. Alright, so we're going to put that there. Now, next thing we're going to do, we've got two things here. We are going to build some cups on the front of our card. So here's a little stamp that is a cup, like a coffee cup, and we're going to make it, we're going to do two of those, and then we're going to put little labels on the part in the middle that's the coffee holder. So let me get that out of the way. Let me get a block here. I'm going to take this coffee cup shape here and put that on a block. We are going to stamp this in CAJUN CRAZE, because that goes with the color in our pattern paper over here. So let's go ahead and ink this up. We need 2 coffee cups. So I'm just going to put one, you know, 2 outlines on our piece of paper here, piece of cardstock. And we'll put one over here. There we go. Now, we're going to color those in just a second. Now, for this, on the front, we are going to stamp. There's a sentiment in here that says, nothing's better than. And so we're going to do nothing is better than apple cider. And then we're going to cut out the word season out of our die set here. So you'll see how all this comes together here in just a second. So I'm going to go ahead and put our nothing's better than stamp on a block. Now, I'm just going to stamp this on here because we're going to cut this out. So you just need like a scratch piece of paper, scrap piece of paper of cardstock. So we've got nothing's better than. Okay, we're going to put our ink away for a minute here. So I'm going to put this over here. Now, I'm going to take my Stampin' Blends here. I've got, let's see, this one is, what is this one? Dark Cajun Craze. And where did my green one go? I had a green one out. Things in this room disappear all the time. I didn't think I'd put it away because I knew we were going to use. Oh, here it is. Actually, you know what? Yeah. So here's our Dark Cajun Craze. I've got Light Cajun Craze and Light Mossy Meadow. So what we're going to do is we're going to use our Light Cajun Craze, which I believe is this one. And I'm just going to use the brush end, and we're just going to color this in here. So we'll go ahead and just quickly color our little cup in here. And we'll get down here. It almost looks like a red Solo cup, right? So cool. Okay, so there's that. We'll get this one. I almost find coloring therapeutic. I know a lot of people are afraid to do it, but it doesn't take too much time. And if you're making cards like, you know, in mass or something, you just stamp all your images and just color all at once. It's not bad at all. Okay, so there's that. Now, I'm going to use the dark, the Dark Cajun Craze to just give our cup a little bit of darker shading here at the bottom and the top of each one of these cups. So we'll get that across there, and we'll do this one. And our little cup holder in the middle, we're going to make green. So like the little belly band that they would put on the cup so that you could hold it if it had hot beverage in it. Okay, so we're going to do this right in here. I'm just going to do this. And this will dry back a little lighter than it looks when you first do it. So don't think that, you know, it's too dark, because it will get lighter as it dries. So what I want to do once we get this part colored in is we're going to stamp then on our little belly band here. Just get this. Okay, we're almost done. Just trying to make sure I can stay inside the lines. Okay, right there we go. Okay, now we're going to go back and use our Cajun Craze ink again to stamp our apple and our cider. So let me get this little apple stamp off of our block. I'm going to put it to the side here. Wipe my block off because I got red ink all over it. Alright, so this is the one that says apple. I'm going to put that on the block, ink that up, and I'm going to put this right in the middle of our belly band here. I got red ink all over. There we go. Okay, so we've got apple. And then we'll get our cider on our other one. And we'll do this one right here. There we go. So cute. Okay, now I have gone ahead, in order to save on a little bit of time, I went ahead and did this and cut out this earlier. So I've got two of our coffee cups here, and our sentiment that I cut out with the Stylish Shapes dies. And then out of the die set that's in this More Than Autumn set, these are just so cute. So you've got the little cup, you've got some whipped cream, and some words. And so one of these words was season, so that's what I cut this out of. So we're going to put this on the front of our card. Okay, so let's go ahead and build up our little front piece here. I'm going to take a block. Once I take a stamp off of it, I'm going to take a little block here, and I'm just going to use it to help me keep this, there we go, flat, or flatter, so that we can work on this. There we go. I'll give it another good burnish here in a second. So I'm going to take our apple cider cups, and we're going to put those on kind of catty-cornered like this. Okay, so we'll go ahead and, my block is not liking me, is it? Here, let's give this a good burnish here. I'm not sure we gave this another. It'll lay flatter once it has, you know, been inside the envelope and been around a little bit. So we're just going to keep that down. There we go. Okay, I'm going to put our cups on. I'm trying to think. Do we want to pop the cups up? Maybe we do want to pop the cups up. I don't know. I'm changing my mind in midstream here. Let me find some dimensionals. Here we go. I've got some little ones here. I ordered some bigger ones. Hopefully they come soon. So we'll just use these little ones here. And we'll go ahead and do our other cup. And the little ones are sometimes harder to get off of the page because my fingers are big and they're little. So we're going to get the backs off here. Okay, and this one. There we go. Okay, now we'll go ahead and get these. So let's see, this is our apple one. So we're going to put it like this. And our cider's going to go, let's see, let's kind of do like that. And then we'll put our sentiment up here at the top. So we're going to put it flat. I'm just going to use some tape runner on the back of this. And we'll go ahead and put that right up here in the corner. Straight would be nice. Let's try that again. I've just been crooked all day. My goodness. There we go. Okay, and then our season that we cut out, I used that die to cut this out, is going to go right down here in the corner. So we're going to use some fine tip glue on this one because, you know, the Tombow glue is wonderful, but you can't really do small, intricate with it without getting glue everywhere. Let's see. I think it's got a little... There we go. There we go. I was going to say, is it going to come out? Doesn't take too much. I'm just going to go in, you know, the bigger places where I can dot some glue on here, making sure to cover as much as I can. So we'll put that right down here. So nothing's better than apple cider season. Uh-oh, it's sticking to my finger. Stick to the... It's the one thing you got with the fine tip glue is you kind of got to give it a second before it adheres. There we go. Okay. Now, the last thing we need is some bling. So we have got, I have got some, let's see, what did I do with those? I had some, here we go, gems picked out. We are going to use these, see if I know what these are. These are the neutral adhesive backed sequins. And they are this fall color. We've got Cajun CRAZE and gold. These are white and these look like they're early espresso. So I think I'm going to use, let's see, do we want to use, let's just see if we can, I'd like to use the Cajun CRAZE one, but will they show up is the question of the day. I guess if we put them here, they will, right? So we'll put that one there, and we'll get a little one for here. Oh my. There we go. And we'll do one more big one. Let's say up here maybe. Let's try right there. Okay, so there you go. There is our fall Fun Fold Friday card. And you can just write your, sign it down here, and when you close it up, it's all covered up. You could always put something on, the back over here. If you thought you needed more room to sign or write something, you could put just a piece of vanilla on the back of this, and, you'd have a little extra space to write. So, okay. So here are our 2 fall Fun Fold Friday cards. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you get notified every time I upload a video so you don't miss anything. And let me know in the comments below which one is your favorite, the floral one or our apple cider one. And I will be back in a couple of days, maybe tomorrow, but maybe in a couple of days with our next paper pumpkin. So I will see you all then. Have a crafty day. Bye.